This is going to be the most thorough and current Robinhood beginner tutorial out there, so I'd recommend sticking around for the entire video. But if there is a specific section that you're looking for, there is going to be a table of contents down below where you can skip around at any point in time. We're going to be covering opening a brand new Robinhood account from scratch. We're going to be getting a free stock. I'm also going to be showing you how to link your bank account, how to deposit money into Robinhood. We're going to look at how to research stocks on Robinhood, how to invest in the S&P 500 using the Vanguard ETFs. We're also going to look at some Robinhood crypto options if you want to invest in Bitcoin, for example. We'll briefly touch on options trading as well as some other features you might care about, like their cash management, where you can earn a high yield on your uninvested cash. We're also going to cover how to withdraw money from Robinhood at the very end, assuming you sell some stocks for a profit or an ETF for a profit, or maybe you receive some dividends and you're looking to cash that money out. Real quick before we get started, if you could drop a like on this video, it will definitely help this video with getting shared out with more people. That would be very much appreciated. So if you're looking to get that free stock bonus, you're going to want to use my affiliate link, which is going to be ryanoscribner.com/start. All you have to do is type that in on your computer if you're watching this on your phone, or vice versa, or it's linked up in the description below. At this point, it's going to ask us to create a login. Now, this isn't going to be your full-blown Robinhood investing account. This is just going to be your login, so you have a basic level account. So you're going to fill in here your first name, last name, email address, and then your desired password. Now, once you've gone ahead and set up your login just like I showed you, you're going to be brought over to this screen where it says your investment journey awaits, and you click on the black button here to get the app, and it's going to redirect you to the App Store. And whether you're on Android or on iPhone, it's going to be slightly different, but it's going to be that same process. From here, you're going to click on that install button. Now, in my case, since I used to have a Robinhood account, I'm just going to be reinstalling it from the cloud, but if you are brand new, it's just going to be a regular install button. Now we're going to click on the blue open button. It's going to bring us over to the Robinhood app. Now, at this point, Robinhood is going to ask you some information about your address as well as your social security number, and this is something required for the KYC or Know Your Customer laws, and it's essentially for the IRS reporting. When you sell stocks for capital gains or even potentially earn dividends, that is required to be reported to the IRS, and it also includes earning interest if you use their high yield savings, so it is going to be required just like any financial account or bank account. I'm going to go ahead and enter my address now and fill this information in, and you can follow along step by step doing the same. Now, once you've gone ahead and filled in that information, it is going to ask you to answer a few questions about investing. This is going to be regardless of whatever investing account that you open, and it requires you to answer these basic questions about your experience and also some required insider trading related questions. We're going to go through these together, but it's nothing to worry about. The first question: how much investment experience do you have? It's none, not much, I know what I'm doing, or I'm an expert. In this case, I'm going to say I know what I'm doing. It now asks you if you're employed, unemployed, retired, or a student. In my case, I am technically self-employed, so there's not really a great category for that, but I will just say employed, and my employer in my case is my business, which is Scribner Media LLC. Once you have that filled out, we're going to click on that black continue button, and now we start off with these required questions that are basically about insider trading, and in most cases, they're going to be a no. First question: are you or a family member a senior executive or 10% shareholder at a publicly traded company? In most cases, it's going to be a no, unless you know of somebody in your family who's like Warren Buffett or Warren Buffett Jr., who owns tons of shares of a public company. It's going to be a no for us. It then asks if you or any of your family members work for a stock exchange or brokerage. So if they work for the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange, or possibly Fidelity, Schwab, different brokerages, you'll probably know if people are doing that in your family. In most cases, that's going to be a no. And then at this point, it's going to have you do a required tax certification. This is just basically signing, saying that you verify your information is correct here that you supplied in terms of your address and your social security number, because you are opening a taxable investment account. And down the line, you might also decide to open up the high yield savings account with them for the interest on your uninvested cash. And we're also going to touch on that retirement account later. So again, this is just certifying that you gave the correct information, and I'm going to click agree and accept accept. And at this point, you are going to review and accept for electronic delivery, as well as the terms of service for Robinhood. Now, my application here is currently under review, but yours should be available instantaneously. So at this point, you should be able to move on to the very next step. But if not, there is going to potentially be a short review period if they aren't able to verify you instantaneously. Let's go ahead and cover how to link your bank account with Robinhood, and it's all going to happen from this person menu here on the bottom right. So we're going to click on that first, and then you're going to click on the three lines here at the top left, and this is your menu where you access the different settings. What we're going to do now is navigate over to transfers, where we have options for deposits, withdrawals, and even brokerage account transfers. Now at this point, there is a security protocol requiring me to turn off my screen share, which is new. I'm glad I'm walking through this with you guys together here with a new updated version of this, just so you would know what to expect. So I'm going to turn that off. I will take some screenshots and put those on screen here as we continue. On this screen here, you have the option to transfer money, manage recurring deposits, send a wire transfer, transfer accounts, and also see available withdrawable cash. But what you're going to want to do from here is scroll down, and you'll see the option here for your linked accounts, and this is going to have the option to add a new bank account. You're going to go ahead and click on that button. Now from here, you have the option to do an instant transfer using your debit card with a up to 1K daily deposit limit. It would be instant if you're looking to invest immediately, or you can do a traditional bank account link. If we click on debit card, it's going to give you the option now here of just entering your debit card information. But if you instead wanted to link it with your bank account, you would do that with Plaid automatically by entering your login information and then selecting your account. Now that we're out of that particular section, I can do the screen recording again, thankfully, and we're now going to do a little bit of research in the app, and we're going to take a look at some stocks, and then we're going to take a look at the crypto section, and then we're going to get into the actual purchasing of an ETF and talking about retirement account and some other options like that. Just another quick reminder here, if you haven't already, make sure you drop a like and subscribe with the bell turned on for those future notifications. We're going to look at one of the most popular, which is NVIDIA, and if you know the stock's symbol, you can type that in, but if you don't, you can just type in the name of the company. So I'm going to type in NVIDIA, and we can see NVDA is the particular symbol. So we click on that here, and we can see that NVIDIA is actually available in the Robinhood 24-hour market, and that's pretty cool because Robinhood has select stocks that they support trading of 24/7, and it's similar to the crypto markets, which a lot of us are familiar with. I'm going to click on Got It for now, and we can see that NVIDIA is having a really solid day today. They're up 4.27%, and you can click here and drag your finger along, and it shows you the price over the day. You can also change the timeline down here and see over the last week, NVIDIA is up 8.8%. In the last month, 37.5%. 3 months is 51%. Year to date, 33.47. The 1 year is over 200%. 5 year is like 1900%, and the maximum chart is like 83,000%. So if you invested in NVIDIA back in 2015 or something at $5 a share, now you're looking at like over 100x on your money there. So man, that would have been a good investment. But anyway, very tough in hindsight to be aware of these things that early on. But individual stock selection is really not recommended anyway. In fact, what most people like Warren Buffett would suggest is doing the diversified approach of investing in the S&P 500. And once my account is fully reactivated, I'm going to show you how to deposit money and actually invest in the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF that Warren Buffett himself recommends. But just so you are aware, this is how you research stocks. We're going to scroll down here, and we have an About section where you can get some information about the particular company. You can see the CEO, employees. The statistics here show us some information you might want to be aware of. Volume is the total number of shares that have traded today. The overnight volume is most likely related to that 24-hour market that Robinhood offers. And you can compare the volume of the day to the average volume, and this can show you if there's more or less people trading the stock than normal. Below that, we can see the market capitalization. This is the total value of the company. And you can then see the price to earnings ratio. This is the multiple that people are paying on the current share price relative to the company's earnings. So this is a relatively expensive stock based on the fact that people are paying about $83 in investment dollars today for exposure to this company making $1 of annual earnings. It might be a little bit confusing to understand that. I actually have a full video on fundamental stock analysis. I'll put a card in the corner if you'd like to watch that, as this this will walk you through these very important financial metrics and valuation metrics like the PE ratio. Below that, we also have the dividend yield here. Nvidia does pay a very small dividend, but it's coming in at 0.03%, so it's a minuscule amount of money. But if we look at a different stock, I'll just switch over to a dividend payer, for example, Johnson & Johnson, and we'll see, looking at their particular yield, it's 2.97%. And just real quick, looking at their PE ratio, theirs is 11.5. So in the case of Johnson & Johnson, investors are paying about $11.50 today for exposure to $1 of their annual earnings. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to get those earnings in your pocket. The only money you're getting in your pocket is that dividend, which in this case is that 2.97%. But it's important to understand that stocks of different industries will have totally different normal valuations. So for example, healthcare, which Johnson & Johnson is a part of, has a baseline level price to earnings ratio, which is considered normal, whereas in tech, and in particular AI, which would be the sub-segment there or industry that Nvidia is involved with, that is going to have a much higher price to earnings ratio that's normal, just based on the growth potential that is priced into today's numbers. Now again, that's just some stock market jargon that you probably don't need to be aware of, especially if you're just looking to be a passive ETF investor, which is what's recommended, but you might just want to be aware of it anecdotally, just so you know some of the basics. Back looking at Nvidia now, we're going to scroll down further and we can see the news section. So if you're wondering, hey, why is Nvidia stock up 4.5% today? We can look at any news that came out surrounding them. So we can see, wow, look at that, Meta stock is actually up 21% today. And the news here is that Meta rolls out own AI chip to power Facebook and Instagram, targets cost cuts and Nvidia independence. So that's pretty crazy because they're actually looking to, I guess, separate from Nvidia, but even despite that, Nvidia is still doing really well today. So if you want to read into the article, you can click on that, and it does it right in the Robinhood app. It's super clean for just getting up-to-date info on stocks. And below that, we have the analyst ratings. So if you are looking to get the Wall Street professional opinion on a particular stock or even a fund, you can come down here and see what they say. In this particular case, among 53 analyst ratings, 92% say it's a buy, 8% say it's a hold, and 0% say it's a sell. You can also see what the bullish thesis as well as the bearish thesis is, and that's going to be sort of the professional opinion on why the stock could go up in the future or why it could be overpriced today and why it could go down. So if you were looking to invest in an individual stock, you'd want to fully understand both of the cases here and see if the risk reward potential made sense for you if you're looking for individual stock ownership. Now, if you're looking to get more info here, you can click on show more and it gives you a bit more info on that. They do offer professional research reports that come as part of Robinhood Gold. That is going to be a separate package that we will talk about later on, but I don't personally use it. I have in the past, but we'll talk about what that is in case you're interested. Below that, we have the earnings chart, and this shows us the quarterly earnings over time. On this chart here, it's showing us what the expected EPS or earnings per share were versus the actual EPS. And what we can see here as the trend is that Nvidia has been beating those expectations by a wider and wider margin, it looks like. And that's probably why the stock has gone up so much. So they have expected figures that's basically like these professional analysts, and think of it like horse racing, where you have people who are like handicappers and they know what they're doing and they have these statistics in mind. In the same manner, you have these people putting out these estimates on what they think the company is going to do in that financial quarter. And based on the consensus, Nvidia has been doing above those expectations over time here. Now, if you're looking to get ideas on other stocks through the app, they have lists here like most popular stocks. You can also look at what stocks are in the 24-hour market. We'll take a look at that as it's relatively interesting. And there's 225 particular items here. So if you wanted to look at what stocks were supported here, you could scroll through all of these yourself. At the bottom, there's also this people also own section where you can see related companies such as AMD, Microsoft, Meta, and this could just give you an idea of other companies in that particular industry. What we're going to do now is explore the crypto section of the app, and as mentioned before, this is a separate legal entity that runs the Robinhood crypto section, and there will be a separate set of disclosures that you will have to go through if you want to do this yourself within the app. So what you're going to do here, if you're interested, is go to the search bar just like before, and this is going to give you a list of popular cryptos based on 52-week highs, lows, etc. But if you had a particular asset in mind, such as Bitcoin, and then you can see we have Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, we're going to go ahead ahead and click on Bitcoin, and if you wanted to go ahead and trade crypto through the Robinhood app, you could do so here. Now, Robinhood does also offer a wallet now, which allows you to send and receive cryptocurrencies. However, there is additional verification and a layer of two-factor authentication that has to be added, but you are able to do that if you want to send and receive crypto similar to the Coinbase wallet. So I'm not personally going to invest in Bitcoin using the Robinhood app, but you could do so if you're looking to do it in one convenient place. And just like before, you can use the chart here and look at the performance of Bitcoin. For example, over the last year, it's up about 82%. Now let's go ahead and talk about the retirement accounts, as this is one of the biggest pieces of news surrounding Robinhood in recent years, because these retirement accounts that they offer are pretty slick. If you're looking to invest for the super long term and take advantage of compound interest without worrying about taxes, something like a Roth IRA is a really solid option, and that's now available through Robinhood. We're going to scroll through here and just take a look at some of the options here in the tiles. I don't have a full-blown retirement account set up with them, but if you wanted to, it can all be done under one roof. And we're also going to talk about a contribution match that they offer, which is rather unheard of. If you have Robinhood Gold, which is their paid subscription plan, they offer a 3% extra match on top of your contributions to your retirement account, which is pretty insane. Now, you do have to pay for Robinhood Gold. I'm going to show you that shortly, but if you are maxing out your contributions, for example, it might be worth it if you run the numbers and see what that cost ends up being. But even if you don't have Robinhood Gold, you would still get a 1% match on top of what you contribute. So if you're looking to invest with a Roth IRA and maximize those contributions, you can get an extra 1 to 3% bonus on top of what you put in simply using Robinhood. They also have recommended portfolios if you don't want to be fully in control yourself, which is a really cool option. And of course, it's all going to be in a tax advantaged manner. So myself, I would personally suggest that you get started on the Robinhood investment side with your taxable brokerage account, get familiar, and then think about setting up a long-term investment goal here and use the retirement section of the app for that. Another feature you might want to take advantage of is the Robinhood Cash card if you're looking to use the money in your Robinhood account in the form of a debit card. So they really do have all of the bases covered now in terms of your entire financial life. You could do it all pretty much within Robinhood at this point if you wanted, but a couple of options that they have here is you can invest your spare change similar to the Acorns Roundup. They're also going to allow you to invest a part of every paycheck automatically, no hidden fees, and then cash back when you spend. There is currently a wait list there, but if you were interested, you could jump on that and you could be among the first to get that when those cards become available. And then as far as earning a high yield on your savings, they offer a cash sweep program where you can have your uninvested cash swept over into a separate high yield savings account. Currently, this pays a 5% APY, which is about 8 times higher than average of what you're seeing out there. So if you wanted to earn a high yield right within your Robinhood account on your uninvested cash, you can do so with Robinhood Cash Sweep. Alrighty guys, so we're going to finish things off in my fiance's Robinhood account just because my Robinhood account was pending re-verification and it was going to take a little bit, so I wanted to keep the video rolling here. The only thing we couldn't show you here was the free stock, since I'm not going to get it until my account reactivates officially. Here's the details of the Robinhood free stock, and this is going to be linked up down in the description below if you want to check it out yourself. Basically, you're going to be getting a dollar value which ranges from $5 to $200, and it's going to be random. However, 98% of people get a value between $5 and $10 for their reward. Now from here, you get to actually pick your stock from a list of 20 of America's leading companies. So whether you wanted Tesla or different companies like that, for example, you can choose which company you invest in with that reward based on using fractional shares. As far as selling the free stock goes, you're able to sell it 3 trading days after claiming it. However, if you want to actually withdraw that money to your bank account, you are going to have to wait at least 30 days after claiming it. But what you could do is sell that stock and then use that money to invest in whatever stock or ETF that you would actually like to own. Now, right now in the app, it's showing $0 in buying power, but we're going to go ahead and click here and it's going to allow us to deposit funds. And I showed you how to link that bank account earlier, so assuming you completed that step, you'll be able to deposit funds at this point. We're going to click on the black deposit funds button, and I'm going to deposit $10 from this particular bank account, and then we're going to click on review and then transfer transfer $10. At this point, it's going to show us a timeline here for the deposit. So it shows it was initiated today on February 2nd, and it's going to be available to trade and withdraw by February 5th. We're going to click on the continue button now. However, the cool thing about Robinhood is they do offer this instant deposit feature, which means you can invest your money early as long as you don't sell that particular asset before your new deposit settles. Now I'm going to show you how to invest in the S&P 500 using the Vanguard ETF, and we have $10 of buying power, but we are going to be able to do that thanks to the fractional share investing. We're going to click on search here, and now we're going to type in the Vanguard S&P 500, and it's actually going to be the very top search there in most cases when you type in Vanguard, but it's the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF under the symbol VOO. We're going to click on that, and it also shows us this is available in that 24-hour market, which is really cool. If you want to do some research on this ETF, just like before, you can scroll down and get information on it. It's pretty cool here because this will show us some different visuals here on the ETFs than you would have seen looking at the stocks. So we can see here that the index is tracked by the S&P 500. It also has 508 underlying holdings, so you have diversification built in among 500 of the largest US companies. The inception date of September 2010, and it's also a large blend, so it's a mix of large companies. You can also see what sectors are represented in this as well as the top 10 holdings. So if you invest in VOO, 7 cents on every dollar is going into Apple. You also have a lot of money going into Amazon, Google, Berkshire Hathaway, Microsoft, Nvidia, Meta, Tesla, JP Morgan, etc. But it's really cool to see this visual breakdown here of what your money is going into and how you have this diversification built in. You can also see the average historical return here, and that can be helpful too in just gauging the benchmark. But in terms of investing in a diversified manner, this is what Warren Buffett recommends: investing in a low-fee S&P 500 index fund, or in this case, it's just an exchange-traded fund. We're going to click on the green buy button, and at this point, we have options here of buying shares, but if I wanted to buy a whole share, it's going to be $453, which I don't have in the account. But if I click here, we can actually change it to buying in dollars, and this is going to allow you to invest with dollars instead of buying whole shares. So what I can do here is put $10 at this point into the S&P 500, and I'm actually buying 0.0022036 shares of VOO. We're going to swipe up, and that is going to be received, and then just like that, the order is completed. So if I click on view order, it's going to show us that it was filled. It was February 2nd, 2024, $10, and we can see that the value was $453.84 per share at the time of purchase. Now, if we go back to VOO and scroll down, you can see my position is listed here. You can see my number of shares as well as the total return and things like that. So if you wanted to continue investing over time, you could do that right here within the app, or you could also set up a recurring investment into something like the S&P 500 or other investments if you wanted to do so. And all of that would be happening right over here by clicking on the person icon and then going over to these multiple lines. Right now, I don't have any recurring investments enabled, but if you click on view recurring investments, you could create a recurring investment here to automatically invest in something like the S&P 500 ETF. The last thing I want to cover here quickly is options. It's disabled by default, but if you wanted to do options trading, you can click on enable options trading. I'm just going to click on learn more just so I can tell you a bit about it. There are no commission fees to buy or sell options or monthly fees with Robinhood. However, it is extremely risky territory for investors. So you have individual stocks, which are high risk, and then you have options, which is just risk piled on top of risk. So it's really not for those who are inexperienced, but if you did want to explore them, it is here in the app. You have basic call options and put options, and you can also get into more advanced options strategies if you want to enable them in the app, as they have different levels available for their options trading. And let's say you want to go ahead and sell a particular asset. What you would do is click on the trade button, and now you have the option to sell. And this is where you could put in the dollar value you're looking to sell. So I could sell that 10.01 available if I wanted to. I'm not going to, just because it really wouldn't make sense, but if you wanted to, you could immediately sell, and there are no trading commissions. There are some small fees that you do pay, like, fractions of a penny that go to FINRA and different regulatory agencies, but there aren't any trading commissions that go to Robinhood. So there you have it, guys. That's going to wrap up this Beginner's Guide to Robinhood Investing. I hope it helps you to get started on your investing journey. Like I said, if you want to go ahead and grab that free stock offer, you have the top link down in the description below, or once again, it's ryanoscribner.com/start, and that is an affiliate link, so we will earn a commission through Investing Simple if you decide to use that link. There's also the full article in the description about the Robinhood free stock if you want more information on that. Finally, if you are looking to learn how to get started with your side hustle, I do have a book out there, From Side Hustle to Main Hustle to Millionaire, which is a step-by-step guide on how to get started with your very own income stream outside of working a job or anything like that. And it tells you about how I did this myself, starting off as a utility worker and then quitting my job and then building up these various digital income streams, just like the Investing Simple blog, becoming a millionaire in the process, and all of the steps involved. So if you guys want to check that out, that's going to be available in person at Barnes & Noble stores. It's also at libraries across the United States. You can find it on Amazon, as well as an author narrated version on Audible. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're looking to learn more about the stock market, you can click below to watch my 3-hour stock market for beginners course, and I'll see you there.